My child, I know the ache you feel when you think about the one who left, the quiet in the spaces they used to fill, and the way certain memories still catch you off guard like echoes in the hallways of your mind. But I want you to understand something you have not yet seen clearly. Though they walked away, they did not leave empty-handed, for the words you spoke, the kindness you showed, the prayers you lifted on their behalf are still with them, woven into the very fabric of their spirit like seeds buried deep beneath the soil. You may think your presence in their life ended when their footsteps faded from your world, but the truth is that your influence became part of their story in ways they may never admit to you, in ways they may not even realize yet themselves. There are moments when they hear your voice in their mind, not in a haunting way, but as a quiet guide in the midst of choices, as a reminder of truth when lies press in, as a whisper of light when darkness crowds their heart. This is why I sent you into their life when I did. You were not there merely for companionship or passing connection, but to plant words of life, hope, and faith that would remain even after you were gone. Do not think those seeds have gone to waste simply because you cannot see them growing. Sometimes, growth is slow, hidden beneath the surface, waiting for the right season to break through. They may have resisted you, argued with you, even hurt you, but in the stillness of their soul, I have taken what you gave them and locked it away for the moment they will need it most. They may pretend your absence doesn't matter, but there will be days when your absence speaks louder than your presence ever did, and on those days, the words you once spoke will rise in their spirit like a lifeline they didn't know they were still holding. I know it's hard for you to believe this when your heart feels like it was left behind with them, but I am telling you now, your impact on their life did not end with their departure. You were my messenger in their story, and though your chapter with them may have closed, the message remains, burning quietly until the moment I choose to let it blaze. What you gave was not lost, and what they took will one day draw them closer to the truth you carried, because no one can walk away from a soul aligned with mine without carrying traces of heaven in their heart. And child, I see the part of you that wonders if maybe you imagine the difference you made in them, if maybe your love, your counsel, and your prayers were just raindrops on a stone that could never soften, but I need you to know that my spirit is still using the very things you left behind in their soul to work a transformation they cannot yet confess. Every time they remember your words, whether in the stillness of the night when sleep avoids them, or in the heat of a decision that could cost them their peace, it is me tugging at the threads you helped weave, reminding them of a standard, a hope, a possibility beyond the life they've chosen. They may try to drown it out, distract themselves, even run from the conviction that rises inside them, but I have marked them with truth, and truth does not fade simply because someone turns their back on it. You think your role ended when they walked away, but I tell you this, sometimes the most powerful influence you will ever have happens in your absence, because it is in your absence that your words must stand on their own, without your voice to repeat them. They replay conversations in their mind when no one is watching, they recall the way you believed in them when they feel like nothing, they hear your laughter when the weight of life feels suffocating, and they remember that someone once saw them not as they were, but as they could be. They may never tell you, but some of their victories, some of their moments of clarity, will be built on the foundation you helped lay. The enemy wanted you to believe that your departure was a failure, that what you gave them was wasted, but I say to you, nothing given in love, in truth, and in alignment with me is ever wasted. Even the tears you cried over them were collected in my hands, and I have poured them into the soil of their journey. There will come a time when they will realize that what they thought they could walk away from is still with them, shaping their choices, guarding them from destruction, and whispering to them when the noise of the world becomes too much to bear. So, do not mourn as if they are lost forever. Instead, trust that I am still pursuing them with the very things you left behind. You were not just a fleeting chapter in their life, you were a turning point they will only recognize in hindsight, and by the time they do, they will understand that your words were never just yours, but mine, placed in your mouth for their rescue. And now, even though they tell themselves they have moved on, even though they convince others that you were just the chapter they closed, the reality is that the echoes of your voice are still alive in the corridors of their spirit, and they cannot shake the weight of the truth you carry to them. They will be sitting in a crowded room, laughter and conversation all around, and suddenly, without warning, a fragment of something you once said will flash in their mind with such force that they will feel their chest tighten, their breath catch, and they will have to hide the way their soul trembles. They may scroll through their phone late at night, seeking distraction, but one image, one phrase, one familiar tone will remind them of the way you looked at them, not with judgment, but with a hope that terrified them because it showed them a version of themselves they didn't yet believe was possible. They will remember the way you prayed for them without even knowing all the details of their pain, the way your faith seemed to see straight through their excuses and into the wounds they tried to hide. And the strange thing is, the more they try to forget, the more those memories surface, because I have embedded them like seeds in their soul. They are restless because of you, not because you wounded them, but because you awakened something in them that refuses to go back to sleep. They replay arguments in their mind, only to realize that your words still stand in truth. They recall moments when they laughed with you, only to feel a pang of longing they cannot explain. Even in their moments of rebellion, they cannot silence the question, what if they were right? What if God really was speaking through them? That question will keep returning, no matter how many new faces they meet or new roads they take, because you were not just a person in their life, you were a divine interruption, a living reminder that they were made for more than this. So when the day comes, and it will, when they find themselves staring at a decision that could break them or remake them, it will be your words that come rushing back like a flood. And in that moment, They will realize you didn't just speak to them, you left something of yourself with them. Something sacred. Something eternal. Something they can't walk away from, no matter how far they go. And now, my child, hear me clearly, this is the part you could not see while you were grieving their absence, while you were asking me why I allowed someone to leave who still carried pieces of your heart in their hands. You thought the distance was punishment, but it was positioning. You thought their silence meant the end, but it was the soil where I was planting a truth too deep for you to watch grow. They needed to be away from you, not because your presence was harmful, but because your presence was too bright for the place they were determined to remain in. Light disrupts darkness, and the truth you spoke began to crack open the walls they built to protect their comfort. And yes, they ran. They ran because staying would have meant changing, and change felt like death to the version of themselves they were clinging to. But while you saw them run from you, I saw them running straight into the arms of the consequences that would make your words come alive in their memory. I allowed certain storms to meet them on the road ahead, storms that would strip away their pride, storms that would silence the noise of their excuses, storms that would leave them standing in the ruins of the life they once thought was enough. And in that quiet, in that emptiness, your voice, the one they thought they had silenced, will become the clearest sound they hear. The prayers you prayed in private, the blessings you spoke over them even when they didn't deserve it, the warnings you whispered with tears in your eyes, all of it will rush back like a tidal wave. They will know, without doubt, that I was speaking through you. And in that revelation, something miraculous will happen. The resentment will dissolve, the pride will fall, and the distance between you will shrink in a single moment of divine clarity. They will not return as the same person who left. They will return as someone who has wrestled with my hand and surrendered. When that moment comes, do not let bitterness speak louder than my mercy. You will not need to prove you were right. The fruit of their transformation will be proof enough. I have not wasted a single tear you cried, not one moment of your obedience. Your words became the anchor I used to keep their soul from drifting beyond reach. They walked away with your words, yes, but I made sure they would walk back with my truth written on their heart. And when they do, you will see that what you thought was a loss was always a divine setup for restoration far greater than you dared to imagine. This is not just their story, it is yours too. The chapter you thought was over is about to become the testimony that makes others believe I can redeem anything.